What the fuck is cybersecurity?
I thought cybersecurity was an old man in a hoodie in a basement hacking and coding.
I might think, I have nothing to hide. Why does it matter to the everyday person?
There's a few reasons why. I don't know where AI is going, but I know it has a lot of crazy potential.
What the fuck is cookies, and should we be accepting all?
Incognito mode, let's talk about it because people have the wrong impression.
Please.
I was in the room with Trump and Zelensky.
Take us through a few tips and tricks on how we can better prepare ourselves.
27 of your passwords have been compromised. I'm like, remind me tomorrow.
No, you should change them.
They can have everything, but they can't have my eyeballs.
Are they listening to us through our phones? And who is they?
Okay, we're ready. I got a lifetime of knowledge.
Let me call Mimi.
Welcome to Actual Experts. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Lundie.
And we don't have all the answers, so we are going to ask the questions.
And today we are asking, what the fuck is cybersecurity, to Caitlin Sarian, also known as the Cybersecurity Girl, one of the world's most prominent cybersecurity influencers and educators.
Very exciting. So cool. When I was doing the research for this, I was actually thinking you should have let this one, because to so many people who don't know Lundie, her dream growing up was to be a spy. And this, as I was doing the research for this, I was like, Lundie.
It was, yes. For a moment there, I thought I wanted to work for the CIA.
Yes.
Pretty much all the way up until I watched Zero Dark 30 and watched her torturing people. And I was like, maybe not.
Not for me.
Both that, and then when I went to officially visit the Naval Academy, which is obviously a great place to get like national intelligence education and experience, and then I saw that you had to wear a uniform.
Yes.
I asked my mom, there were lots of cute boys running around, specifically the lacrosse team, and I remember being like, oh, like this is fun. Like I can do this. And then I saw two women walking down the steps with like their hair back in a bun and like their uniforms on. And I was like, would I have to wear a uniform? And my mom was like, yes, we are at the Naval Academy of the United States. Yes, you would have to wear a uniform, obviously.
I love it.
And I was like, okay, never mind. Don't want to do that. Thank you.
You came for a close second because MI6 recruits so many people out of St. Andrews, which is where we went to university.
I know.
So,
I was actually personally offended that I was not. So I didn't get tapped for that one.
I think you'd be a great spy.
But all to say, yes, cybersecurity, very interested to learn more about it. I don't know a single thing. And the idea came from, well, obviously we found Caitlin on Instagram. She's incredible. Yeah. She has 1.2 million followers. She's built an incredible following. But upon finding her, the question that we were asking are, what the fuck is cookies?
Yes.
Like, I accept cookie, and like it's really increased in probably the past, like, I don't know, year, 2 years. Like you cannot go on a website now without the pop-up blocking.
Totally.
All
everything.
The shopping we're trying to do.
Yes.
And accepting the cookies, and no one who knows what that means, not I.
I know, especially right now with all the Black Friday sales on every 3 minutes. I'm accepting cookies as I go on the different sites as I'm being pushed on Instagram. Yeah.
I know. The other thing that is personally affecting me right now, which who knows if I should admit this online, but I get like those alerts saying like all of your passwords have been compromised. Like every single one of your passwords is compromised.
Yes.
Would you like to change them? And I'm like, no thanks.
Yeah.
No,
thank you. I know. Well, it's so funny because when we were building all the stuff for the podcast, Steven, my husband, was like, you guys need to have some password security on this, because what happens if it becomes really popular and then you get hacked and then everyone steals all your data? And we were like, noted. Have we done anything about it? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. But I mean, your Facebook did get hacked, and it did. You were no longer able to access it, which is really crazy when you think about how much is linked to, which meant that your Instagram got deleted also.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everything's
gone. All my photos. I know. All my photos from high school, which is especially hilarious for this podcast when we were trying to go back in time to look at us as hilarious youth. And I know I have ridiculous photos of me on Facebook, but it's all gone.
But it is crazy how interconnected everything is, and it is scary how much is like on the line if any of that gets hacked or like deleted or so.
Totally. Yeah, I didn't know how like wild I could go with questions on this, because on our dog walk this morning, Steve and I were talking about it, and he's like, you need to ask if the government is watching us. And I was like, am I allowed to ask that? And he was like, I want to know.
I have, and I'm not even really like that
Yeah.
paranoid, I guess
Yeah.
but I have one of those little slidey things over my camera because I just I don't know. I get a little creeped out. I'm like, I don't know. Like, there's a camera. I don't
Yeah,
know
that's a good point.
who has the ability to turn it on. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we should ask.
Crazy.
Or like people say, like your phones are listening. Here's what I want to know. How do ads pop up for things that I have only thought about, that I have never once uttered that I've wanted to anyone? First of all, even if you just speak about it, then it's like,
Yeah.
okay, are our phones listening to us? But there are things that I, oath to God, I have never searched for or said out loud, and I get served ads for it. How does that happen?
Yes. Yes. Okay. I'm going to go into facts because this
Yeah,
is actually
please.
what you just said falls into it. Okay. So it's been found that your 4 most visited websites are enough to uniquely identify 95% of individuals, meaning even the basic browsing behavior creates a strong digital footprint. Of course, I was like, what the fuck is a digital footprint?
Yeah.
I had no
Yeah.
idea.
I'm like, what does that mean?
I'm like, thank you for this fun fact, ChatGPT. I don't know what it means. Okay. And then I'm like, okay, what's a digital
Explain
footprint?
further.
Yes. Digital footprint is the trail of data you leave online just by using your phone or the internet, even when you don't post anything. So there's 2 types. There's one, which is an active footprint, where you intentionally share things. So like posting a photo, liking a post, or signing up for something. So anytime like Banana Republic is like sign up to our newsletter for 10% off, which I do.
Yep.
That is an active footprint. And then passive footprint is collected without you doing anything. So location tracking, cookies, ding, 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 which we were speaking about, browsing history, and hidden app data. So why it matters is your digital footprint can be used to identify you, target you with ads, steal your identity, hack your accounts, predict your behavior more accurately than friends can, and influence hiring decisions or background checks.
Yikes. That's so. I wonder what my top 4. I'm like
Instagram.
Instagram, shopping, Netflix, maybe. That's so crazy. The other thing
Yeah.
that, I mean, related to that is when people say that you should clear your cookies or your cache. Is it cache or cache? Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Before you search for flights, because if you look for the same routes, they know, and so they increase your flight cost because they know that that's the one that you want. I've heard that.
Oh
Is
my
that a myth? I
God.
don't know. Have you ever
I
heard
don't
that?
know.
That's one of mine. And then the other one I
Yes.
want to know is also incognito,
Yeah. Mode.
incognito like mode on Chrome. Like, is it really incognito?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, keep
Anyway,
it.
next one. Okay.
Yeah.
So then the global market for cybersecurity, because I was thinking like this is a business. So the global market for cybersecurity is estimated at 193.7 billion in 2024, but many forecast it's expected to more than double in the next decade, and one projection pegs it at around 562.8 billion by 2032. So all the businesses that are like fueling cybersecurity. One of my friend's boyfriends, well, fiance now, works in cybersecurity insurance, and she was telling me that they can't keep up with the movement of AI because it's affecting cybersecurity so quickly. So they have to keep changing their insurance packages and how they underwrite it literally like quarterly. They're like, fuck, this like new thing
Wow.
has come up. Like we have to change this. So
Yeah, it's moving so
very
quick.
crazy. So then I was reading, it's very timely. I'm reading the new Dan Brown book right now, which is all about consciousness, but cybersecurity comes into it. And they talk about in the book this thing called InQtel. Have you heard of this before?
No.
Okay,
To the
so
surprise of
crazy.
no one.
To this, okay, no, you might have heard of it because of your passion for espionage. Okay,
Yes.
so InQtel is a venture capital firm created in 1999, and it was originally chartered by the CIA, but legally InQtel is independent. Its mission is to bridge the gap between the private sector innovation ecosystem, startups, and the needs of the U.S. National Security and Intelligence Agency. So I was reading about this, and it's so crazy. It's this like separate arm that basically goes around and invests and buys the most innovative technology that's being built around like national security and intelligence, so that it's under the U.S. security umbrella. And then in the book, obviously the book is fiction, but my rational brain thinks this does make sense, is that the other venture firms are really annoyed by it because it obviously has so much buying power because the US government has so much money, and they
Right.
can outbid every other person. So some of the best businesses are all going under the US government's umbrella, and they have access to way more than like maybe they should.
So
take that as you
interesting.
will.
Yeah, unsurprising if
Yeah.
that is the case. My two questions would be, is their portfolio public knowledge? Like, could you look
Ooh.
up their portfolio? Highly doubt it, but maybe.
Yeah.
And then also, my question would be, have there been any founders or companies who have refused investment from them? I'd
That's very
assume
interesting. If you're building a business for intelligence, the biggest or
yeah,
national
surely your like
yeah
ultimate client would be the
goal,
United
the
States
U.S.
government.
government. But I thought it was so interesting. Who would have thunk
Super
it?
interesting. Super interesting. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So should I tell you more about Caitlin now that you and I are basically spies?
Yes, please do. Yeah.
Okay, so Caitlin Sarian is known to many as Cybersecurity Girl, that's how we found her, as one of the top cybersecurity influencers on social media. Determined to make a meaningful impact, she embarked on a passion project, a cybersecurity social media account aimed at achieving 3 core goals. First, to educate the public on staying safe online. Second, to demystify cybersecurity. And third, to inspire more women to enter STEM fields, particularly cybersecurity. In her earlier role, Caitlin steered TikTok's global security advocacy and culture team. Before starting at TikTok, her career began at EY as a cybersecurity consultant performing large-scale global cybersecurity assessments across 20 key cyber sectors. I say it's impressive.
That
All
is
of it is.
so interesting and so cool. By far our largest guest to date in terms of reach, which is extremely exciting. And her background's really incredible. I can't wait. Let's bring her on.
Please note that this pod is for educational purposes only. Nothing we say should be taken as financial, legal, or medical advice. Please do your own research, and when in doubt, ask an actual expert.
I was going to say Caitlin's in Toronto, so also on the East Coast with you, but I'm based in Cape Town, South
I
Africa.
love Cape
Caitlin,
Town.
have you been?
Yes, and it's like my number 2 favorite place in the world after Tokyo. But I feel like it's technically number 1 because Japan doesn't count as like from this planet, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Like you, like it's like you feel like
Out
you're
of
in a
this
different
world.
planet, so it doesn't really count. But for like normal vacations, I think Cape Town's like the best place in the world. Have you lived there your whole life?
Nice. I'm from LA originally. I've been here for 8 years. Caitlin was here until very recently. So we spent most of our time together here in Cape Town.
gosh.
So it's been
Why did you
almost
guys
10
go to
years.
Cape
Been
Town? Like,
away.
how did you like get there?
We worked together for the last 10 years in African investments or emerging market investments. So my first role out of university was in Nigeria. And then that took me then to South Africa. And then I posted on Facebook saying, hey, our team is hiring, back when people actually used Facebook for communication.
everything.
And Lundie saw not just a marketplace. And then she joined me in South Africa. And then, we went from there.
We call ourselves star-crossed lovers because we've really followed each other around. And then this podcast has only been around for like 3 or 4 months now, but this is our most recent kind of joint venture. And so we're so
Yes.
excited to have you
I
on.
know, I'm very excited.
Thank
And
you.
that's, I was about to say, you guys really just are besties. Like, you follow each other everywhere, like soulmates.
We do. So the way we've structured each of these episodes is one of us takes the lead. So in this case, I did the research. I've come up with the questions for us. And then Lundie is coming in blind. So she's essentially like the voice of the
like a
listener.
normal
So
human,
she will
like,
stop
what the heck
us.
are you even talking about? Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. Being
Exactly.
like, break this down further. We still don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes. So she's going to stop us and say, hey, Caitlin times 2, Caitlin squared. Please clarify. And that's us. That's actual experts. We can dive in. So my first one we were both saying is that not many people leave high school and say, I want to go into cybersecurity. So we just wanted to hear how you ended up in this field, because not many people, but also not many women end up doing cybersecurity.
So I was the same. And actually, I was really, really loving math and science in high school. Like, and by the way, I actually just talked to Girl Scouts of America, and they were saying that there's statistics that women are actually outscoring men in math. Like, I think it's like 60% of women are doing better in math in high school, but they're not going into math majors or any type of science major because they don't understand or see themselves in some type of STEM or tech career. And I was literally the same. So I love math and science. And my mom was like, you should be an engineer. My parents were like, you should be an engineer. And in my head, I thought of a dirty car mechanic. Like, that is literally what I thought was an engineer. And
Totally.
I was like, I want to be a math teacher. Like, that's how I felt. I was like, I'll be a teacher, like a normal, girl job. I'm not doing a boy job. And then I ended up switching majors like randomly, as that's a long story in itself. And then I had a similar situation when it came to cybersecurity. So I thought cybersecurity was like an old man in a hoodie in a basement, like hacking and coding. Like I literally thought that. And when I was going through, I was trying to do tech consulting after my master's degree. And I was going through interviews, and one lady out of all of the interviews I was doing was like, "Would you be interested in cyber?" And in my head, I had that vision of a man coding in a basement with a hoodie. Like I literally, that was what popped up in my head. But obviously, I wanted to get every job possible, so I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'd be interested." Like whatever. And I also, by the way, context, was really bad at coding. So we had to take 2 coding classes for my engineering degree. Terrible. I barely passed. That and physics, too, I got C minuses in. And I'm pretty sure I failed both of those finals. It was only because I went to every office hour. And I think the teachers were just like, we can't do anything else. Like, we feel really bad for this. So like in my head was like, I'm probably going to fail cybersecurity because I'm not good at coding at all, but I'm intrigued. So let's just get the job and I can decide. So I ended up like getting different types of jobs, different tech consulting roles, different engineering jobs. And I was just really intrigued with what cybersecurity was. And this lady whose name was Danielle was like, we are living in a tech world. There's technology all around us. And because of that, cybersecurity is never going away. And I was just like, you know what? I'm really interested in this. Like, if I don't like it, I can go into a different route, like a different kind of arm of consulting. But it's not that difficult for me to change. Like, let's just try it. And I learned everything on the job. And I found out that like cybersecurity is so much more than coding. So yes, I was like every other little girl, pretty much to a T. Like I didn't want to do any STEM majors because I couldn't see myself there. I definitely thought cybersecurity was like coding and hacking, and you had to be some really smart person to even get in. And it turned out that I was severely wrong. So
amazing. Very cool. And then your career has been well, first of all, you were on the Mel Robbins podcast,
yes,
which is so wild and amazing.
I thought it was a scam. I really did.
So cool.
I was like, my manager messaged me saying like, oh, we got an email from Mel Robbins podcast. I was like, well, she does like personal development. So this is like a BS. Like this is, I call it bullshit. Sorry, didn't say,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
We say it all over here.
Like, I don't know who's allowed to say what, but I was like, this is not accurate. And then it ended up being right. And we spent over 3 hours, like just straight up, not even like my background, like that intro that we just did, I didn't even talk about. We went straight into like cybersecurity and tech and how to protect yourself for 3 hours. So it was really, really fun. But yeah, I mean, I never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd do influencing, but it's mainly like one of the main reasons was I wanted to get more women interested in like these fields, and also more women to see themselves in cyber. And the reason why I started, and I only started on TikTok, was I only want to reach the next generation. That was what the original goal. Like I want to reach the next generation, teach them how to be safe because you're inherently trusting tech, and get more women to see themselves in STEM careers, because it was 5% women in my aerospace mechanical engineering degree. And also like in cyber, I mean, there's actually more women in cyber, but it's like 23%. And so it's like, I never saw myself in any of these careers because I couldn't see what that future looked like or what that even looked like for me as a woman. I just kept seeing men. And no one told me that. You just see it in books and you see it all around. You're never seeing a book where a woman is like, a scientist or a math major, whatever it is. So
yeah. Representation. Yeah. We found that as like a through line with some of our other experts we spoke to, a mortgage loan officer or like a prenup marital law lawyer. And they were all saying the same thing. Or investment expert was like, it's hard to aspire to something that you can't see in terms of like leadership positions when it comes to women. So we're seeing that as a through line, but there's so many women, yourself included, who are breaking the glass ceiling. So it's exciting to see.
It's been fun.
I think that's actually the perfect segue. So you've kind of heard us say this now. Each of our episodes we title What the Fuck Is. And so this one is What the Fuck is Cybersecurity? We hear about it all the time. To your point, everyone thinks, oh my gosh, this is a dude in a hoodie in his basement coding. So that is our question to you is, what the fuck is cybersecurity?
Cybersecurity, like real short, is just protecting people using technology. I would like to say online, but technology also can be offline and you still need to protect yourself, right? And so it's just protecting people using technology. Now I'll give you a backstory. The backstory is cybersecurity started when the internet first started in the late 70s, early 80s. And that's when like the first computer worm happened, and technology was really only available to the government and to universities. And so that's why like protecting this data online started really focused on universities and governments. And then obviously when corporations started becoming more online, it kind of grew. So it started with, they call it the CIA triad. It's confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So confidentiality means that the data is only available to the people that need to see it. So like your personal information is not for everyone to see. It's like locked up and confidential. Integrity means that the data that they have on you is actually accurate. So just like we're allowed to say, hey, you got the wrong credit score, this wasn't me, or XYZ, they have to make sure that their data is accurate on you. And availability means it's available for the people that need it when they need it. So you don't have to go through all these hoops to get to the right information. And that's really how it started. It was all about the data that we have on our technology or online and how we protect that data. And then it obviously, as all the corporations started going online, more corporations were starting to realize they needed to start protecting themselves. And it really became a corporate heavy kind of topic. Like cybersecurity was like really only for corporations. But obviously since, 2000, I would say 6, 7 and on, when we started having technology in our pockets, no one started bridging that gap between, okay, well, now everyone needs to learn how to be protected and everyone has the right to protect themselves. So how are we starting to educate everyone on a daily basis? And that still is a huge gap. Like no one is doing that. And I don't know how or why. I only discovered this after I started my channel. And still, I feel like I'm the only one. Like there's a lot of amazing tech influencers out there, but they're really focused on being technical. And I am the opposite because I feel like I don't even understand half this tech jargon. And I was speaking on a panel the other day and I was like, can we just get rid of all this tech jargon that like technical people like to say? Because one, it's different in every company. So there's no point of even saying it. And two, it's like, well, who are you trying to prove that you're smart at this point? Like we're all in this together and like you're just confusing everyone when you use tech jargon. So cybersecurity is just protecting yourself when you're using technology. And now I feel like cybersecurity is so essential. And I think a lot of people tune it out. Like when you hear cyber, I always use the astrophysicist example. Like if someone tells me they're an astrophysicist, I'm going to probably I'm not, but like assuming a majority of the people are going to be like, well, I have no idea what you're saying. Like I'm going to glaze over. I'm going to tune you out. I'm not, there's no way I'm going to understand anything that comes out of your mouth. That's what people think about cyber. And the issue is cybersecurity is so, so essential. Like the routines that you need to learn. And I like associating it like your normal hygiene routines, right? Like you have to learn how to brush your teeth and wash your face. And like, yeah, as a child, you don't want to brush your teeth every night. It takes a lot of time. It's like annoying, but you learn that those routines help you in the long run. Cyber routines are the same thing. They actually don't take that much time, but people's eyes glaze over when they hear cybersecurity because they're like, this is so complicated. But the issue is that cybersecurity is inherently with us every day. We need to do this or we're going to not be protected in the future. And again, there's simple routines that you can do that literally set yourself up for success in the future. And it takes maybe 5 minutes for like simple ones.
Okay. I want to dive into those routines. That's definitely part of the questions we want to get to. But I think the big question that a lot of people have, especially women, we're so busy. There's so much going on. This is just one more thing to add to our plate. So we understand cybersecurity is protecting us, but why does it matter? Often I might think, oh, I have nothing to hide. They can have it all. Like I don't care. But why does it matter to the everyday person?
There's like a few reasons why. The first is like as of right now, we know exactly what technology is capable of doing, right? And then we're assessing that risk based on our current technology. Like, okay, so if this company has my data, who cares, right? Okay, granted, I totally get it, which is why I'm like, I don't care if I go on TikTok right now because I want to reach the next generation. Like everything is a risk-based decision. My concern comes with when they start collecting or getting access to more sensitive information. And I might be okay with what they're using that information for today, but in 10 years from now, who knows what AI is going to do to start like profiling you as an individual. And ultimately for me, I'm scared of more of like a big brother situation where they know exactly who you are, what you do, and how to control and manipulate you. And I know that sounds like tinfoil hat theory, but like that's kind of the direction we're going. And so I always give this example of, okay, journalists back 10 years ago, right? They were writing and they were like, okay, we need to put this on our blog or we need to put this online. And never in their wildest dreams did they think that their information and the way that they write, their signature style would be used to train AI models. And then AI would be used to like maybe potentially take over journalism and writing as a whole. So like you don't understand where technology is, but I will tell you, if you factor in AI, I get weary of like what that could be in the future. And I don't want a full profile of me for any government at any point in time. And also, I don't need them to know like all my health data. I don't want my banking data to be out there. Like, there's certain things where I just wouldn't want people to have. That's like the tinfoil hat theory. So the second one is like when all your information is out there, it's a lot easier for scammers to target you. And when they have more data on you, you're a lot easier of a target because they know exactly who you are and they know what you want to do. So, for example, there is a technology that is used for corporate training, but if this technology is already built, then like scammers can use it too. And like, I want to tell people, scammers, that is their business. Like, they literally check in like a normal job. They go in and they scam people for a living. Like, it's what they do. So it's not like someone random that's like, oh, hopefully I can scrape someone's data. Like, they are very targeted, and you might not think, oh, why me? It's you because you're a dollar sign, and they don't care about anything else but a dollar sign. So back to the example of this technology is able to scrape all this open source data. And what we say, it's called open source intelligence, or OSINT. It means that there's public profiles on you. If you had a marriage certificate, like anything on like online about your wedding registry, all of your social media profiles, everything that's you've ever opened that's public or that you've shared that's about you can tie back to you. So this technology was able to scan all these sites and say, hey, this person has a dog named Rover because on their wedding registry, they had a dog collar and said for Rover on it. And then it was able to immediately, within 30 seconds, it was able to immediately.
No, but Caitlin's like, Freddie was definitely on
my wedding registry. I'm like, yes, my dog was on my wedding registry.
Like, again, who cares, right? But the issue is then they're able to formulate within 30 seconds, because they use AI at this point, an email that's very specific to Freddie, right? Like, and you're like, oh, this is so believable. And then it makes scams a lot easier, and you just fall for them a lot more often. So there's this tinfoil hat theory, but then there's also, in general, I just don't want my information out there because we are normal humans. Scams are very, very well thought out processes. They know how to hijack your amygdala, which is a part in your brain that makes the decisions. And the less information they have on me, the less likely it's going to be believable and I won't click or do anything with. So mostly it's for scams. I don't want to be stalked. I don't want to be harassed. There's a lot, especially from the public eye. There are some very interesting people out there in the world, and many people don't have a life but to destroy other people's lives. And so I just don't want all of that information out there. And then again, when it comes to the kind of secure, more sensitive issues, I don't want all of my health data being tracked. That's me personally. I don't like that risk. I know my boyfriend, on the other hand, loves his health data being tracked. So again, it's a risk-based approach, and it's totally up to what you guys want. But I always just like to tell people, like, you don't know what you don't know. We do not know where technology is going in the future. And with AI now that's able to do surveillance and group data, like, it is insane. And I just don't want full profile of me at the end of the day. Is basically what I don't want. Yeah,
for sure. And it's, to your point about the education side, it's about just knowing what you can do to protect yourself. And I really love what you're saying about we don't know where the technology is going. AI is playing a big role in everything, a huge role in cybersecurity. And I think on a day-to-day, we've now really normalized using the internet, but AI hasn't really been normalized yet. And it's what we are scared of, but a lot of our parents are. So I don't know about you, but my parents are terrified of AI. They're like, I don't understand where this is going. I can't grasp it. We use it a bit more, so we're a little bit understanding. But I think this whole element of a fear of what's coming is really interesting, and a great way to better prepare yourself is what you were saying about some of these rituals. So I would love if you could take us through a few tips and tricks on how we can better prepare ourselves. And then Lundie and I both have some myths we want either busted or you to give us the inside scoop.
Yeah,
so we'll start off though with what we can do to better prepare ourselves and better protect ourselves.
So the first thing, which I hate saying, is like have strong, unique passwords for your key accounts. Banking, health, social media, whatever your key accounts are, just have a strong password and make it a fun sentence. You can make it long. I know, like, back in the day, it used to be like, oh, you know, change your password every 3 months. We don't need to do that. If you have a strong, unique password, unless like, I mean, I change it almost once a year because I just get paranoid, but I don't ever suggest that to people. Have a long, unique password that's only for that one account, and you don't have to change it that often unless there was a data breach. So that is so, so important, because scammers are able to get on the dark web and see all of the past breaches and just literally copy and paste your email and password in and try it on a million different accounts in seconds. So they're able to get it in literally seconds.
That was going to be my question. It's like when you get that alert that's like 27 of your passwords on your keychain have been compromised. Do you want to change them? And I'm like, remind me
Yeah. No,
tomorrow.
you should change them.
That's probably the worst possible thing.
But
Yeah.
if you have a keychain, it like
Got it.
automatically can suggest new ones for you and you don't have to like, so I don't want to remember all these unique passwords. And I actually have a unique password for almost every account now, but that's because I use a password manager. But again, simple things like if people don't like tech, I totally understand that they don't want to use password manager, although it's super easy. And now if you have an iPhone, there's a password manager in the phone that like pretty much does it for you. So it's not that difficult. And if you start doing it, you don't have to overhaul every single account you've made, but you start with the key accounts. And then, as you move on or logging into other accounts, you can just start changing the passwords like eventually. That takes like maybe 20 seconds if you need to do that. So passwords are like number one, because that's just like you're leaving yourself wide open to very easy hacks. And then the second is multi-factor authentication or multi-step authentication, which means that you're signing in with a password and a code. And almost every key account, like banking accounts, email accounts, health accounts, they pretty much either require now a multi-step code or you can turn it on. And so just toggling that on, it'll send a text message to you, it'll send an email to you with a code, or I use an authenticator app just in case. Like that's like me again being a little bit more cautious, but any code is fine. Or you can now a lot of times do biometrics if you're on your phone. So your phone will scan your face, and that's a second form. So that means that even if the hacker gets your password, they'll need your face, obviously, or they'll need like the code that's sent to your phone, email, or authenticator app. And the one thing I have to preface with this is if it's going to your email, make sure your email also doesn't have the same password. That's why I always say like it's better to do an authenticator app because people are able to like get into your emails if you have a really terrible email password or if it's the same as the other code. So that's the second one. So passwords, multi-factor authentication, automatic software updates. This takes like 3 seconds. And a lot of people are like, oh, they're going to drain my phone battery or I might not like the look of the new update. Just automatic. You can, on the iPhone and I think on the Android too, or on any Google phone, you can literally just toggle on auto updates. And then every time you plug your phone in at night, when it's charging, it automatically updates every day. And that is
easy.
It literally will take you 2 seconds. Like you can do it now and just go to software updates and turn on automatic updates. Then you don't have to worry about it. And then same with like if you do use like Google Chrome, if it ever says like update in the corner, just please press update and close your browser for 2 seconds. It's really important because those updates patch holes and vulnerabilities that hackers have already found. I would say a majority of them. Sometimes updates are just like, let's make it prettier, but almost every update is patching a hole. So it's really, really important.
So
it's
interesting.
really important. And it takes, again, 2 seconds. You don't have to do anything else after turning that one setting on. 2 seconds, and then that's like easy done.
I have a follow-up question because you mentioned face scanning and that being actually a positive way of multi-factor authenticating. I'm one of those weirdos who like I have like my thumbprint on my computer, but then when it comes to face scanning, like that's where I draw the line for whatever reason, and I like do my password. My fiance is like they have everything else of you have a Facebook profile, like they have your face. So you would say that face scanning, for example, or even like the biometric, the fingerprint is a good thing for whoever has that to have as a way of protection, not vulnerability.
Yeah. So again, this is a risk-based approach. I am constantly on my phone. Like I'm on my phone significantly more than I'm on my computer because I'm on social media. I have accepted that like it's way easier for me to do that. We don't have I don't think thumbprint is a thing on my phone anymore. Like if it was still a thumbprint, I would probably still do it.
Yeah.
Then it goes to, okay, tracking at the airports. There's a lot of like biometric things that you can opt into. Now, again, I fly way too often and I don't opt out at the airport because it would not be fun for me. It's like not worth the risk. Yeah. It's not worth the risk. So I'm like, I don't care. My cousin, she doesn't do that.
My mom doesn't do it. My mom is like, they can have everything, but they can't have my eyeballs. I was like,
my cousins, I think my mom's also like that. And there's also companies now that are like, oh, scan your biometrics to like verify you're a real person. I don't do that unless it's like a government thing. And even the government I'm a little worried about is only for flights because it makes my life easier. So again, it's a risk-based approach. I'm fine with it on my phone. I actually really trust Apple. I also really trust Android. They're doing a lot of work in the privacy space. So it really just depends on
Cool.
what you want. It's totally up to you. But biometrics are
Okay.
like, you can't, I mean, the face you can kind of fix. The eyes, you can't really, I mean, you can now. It's kind of, we live in a weird world. But
I know, it's
it's
crazy.
the eyes are like a fingerprint too. So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, you can get facelifts and stuff. You would change your
hard.
face. You could also, I guess, change like the color of your eye. I don't know. That's a whole nother thing. But it's up to
Oh
you
my
guys.
God.
I trust that it's easier.
Now we're going like espionage.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we're going down the espionage train. Okay, that actually reminded me when you spoke about Chrome before we get into the myth busting. I want to ask, and this almost was the title of our episode, what the fuck is cookies and should we be accepting all? Because we were talking about it earlier. We're like on our shopping, on the Real, on whatever website, and like, accept all. Please tell us what cookies is and are we selling all our data?
Okay, I mean, I always just take the extra step and say deny or reject all, because like, why do they need it? Unless you're like really wanting all the marketing stuff, like I don't think they need it. Also, fun fact, cookies a lot of times for airlines are tracking how often you go on and what you're searching for, and then they bump up the prices. So I prefer,
Yes,
and I
I've
actually
heard
think
that.
other websites do that too, like even shopping websites, like if they know that you're looking at the same dress for a certain amount of time. I don't know how it works. I think Amazon might do that. Like I just was like, why do you need it? I don't know. And it takes what, 2 seconds? Like you say reject and you move on.
Totally. So it's tracking your information. That's
Yeah,
what
it's
cookies is
tracking your
doing.
information. It tracks who you are and when you came to the site, and then what you actually, if you added stuff to the cart. So it's convenient for people if you're like going to a website, you're not logging in and you're like, I want to add this to the cart. And then you come back to that website a week later and it's still in your cart. Does that make sense? But it's also tracking
Got
everything
it.
else
Totally.
in between. Like some of them even track how long your mouse hovers over a link before even clicking it. They're able to see how long you stop and where you're stopping on the website to see what part of the website is keeping your attention, what's keeping you there. So there's a lot of pixel tagging and cookies. I don't know why they need it. And I pretty much only shop on Amazon. So
It's
basic approach.
convenient. It's convenient, and we're
We're
busy.
busy. I don't have time to like sort through
We're
racks.
busy.
Are you kidding me? Absolutely not.
That is super clear. Go ahead, Lundie. I know you
Can I ask
you wanted
a
something.
question also around some jargon, but maybe a what it means? I've heard around that flight like factor where with the raise in prices that if you clear your cache,
cookies,
quote
yeah.
unquote, then that like maybe solves that problem. Is it cash? My first question, is it cash or cache?
It doesn't matter. I
And my
say
second
cash.
question, what is it? Okay.
Yeah.
And what exactly is that? That's just like a history or a record of all of your website information, like your history?
It's like a temporary storage kind of area for frequently accessed data. So like if let's just imagine like you have your little computer chip, right? And your computer chip is saying, okay, this person continues to go to American Airlines and search for this. And when you go on American Airlines, then it pulls from that. So it's just
Okay.
like temporary storage.
Okay.
And it also helps like speed up your computer if it makes you feel better if you clear it. So
Oh,
Yeah.
to clear it. Okay, yeah. And so the only benefits to not clearing it is that your cart is still available for you when you go back to the
Yeah,
shopping
and then the
website, for
other thing
example,
is
which
if you're
sometimes
constantly going to a website, in order for it to load faster, sometimes it saves those like images and stuff immediately so it won't be as slow when you go back to it. So it's like saving weird stuff from
Okay,
websites
interesting.
on your computer, like temporarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is like arguably completely
Yeah,
unnecessary.
you don't
So good to know. Maybe a regular clear of the cache is probably a good thing to do.
Going off of like computer stuff. So incognito mode or like private mode, let's talk about it because people have the really, really wrong impression.
Please.
That is literally for your computer. It's basically telling your computer, don't take cache. You don't need to remember that I was on this website. Don't remember on the drop down when I start typing it in. I like to say, go on private mode if you're buying a Christmas gift for someone and you share a computer and you don't want them to know. But usually the other side knows. At least they still get little bits of that. So it's not fully
Okay.
private and no one's ever going to know you went on. They still have the other side of it. Like it's private on your end, like your computer will remember going to that website, but not technically private on the other end.
So if you're doing like I don't know, something crazy like dark web
Oh,
shit
no,
or
they
whatever,
know.
then you're searching some weird stuff.
Yeah, they know what you're searching,
Okay,
even on
good to
private
well,
mode.
Not that I am doing that, but good
Well,
to
and the other thing is people
Jenny's
go
like,
on
note
private
to
mode
self.
and then they log into their account. Like they're like, go on private mode, but then they go on Google and it's already logged into their Google account. So even if you're on private mode, you're still on your account. Go on private mode and then log into your Facebook. You're still like Facebook can still see what you're doing
On your
because you're
Facebook.
logged in. So
Totally.
Okay.
Totally.
Okay, that was one of my myths, so that's
Okay.
helpful. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I just busted a myth before the
Okay.
myth.
No,
No,
please.
this is
That's great.
perfect. Okay, we're going into it then. So the next one, which I'm sure you get asked all the time, but it's a question as old as time. Are they listening to us through our phones? And who is they?
And they listen to you? Absolutely. Are they listening to you? Potentially. I think they are. Is it doing anything? I don't know. It's the same thing as the cookies thing. It's like up to you. I mean, I'm not saying anything ridiculous on the other end of my phone, so I don't really care. But again, this is a risk-based approach, right? They definitely have the ability to listen, watch. And this goes back to every time you download an app and then they're like, oh, we need access your camera roll, access your microphone, access whatever. Like, do you need to give them that access? No.
So you
Right.
can
Oh, yeah.
change that. You can go and say like only this, this, and this, and still have
Yeah.
access to the app. Because I always think I have to accept everything or else I won't be able to
No.
use this app.
I go in
Right.
and change it. Even on like my social media, I only accept each post I'm about to post. So they don't even actually have my entire camera roll. They only have the post that's already going to go on.
Oh.
I have so many changes I need to make. Like every single thing that's come up, I'm like, everything is out there. And I mean, we were talking about this earlier, the possibility of like ads coming up or ads being served to you for something that you have never searched for, you have never said
Yeah.
aloud. You have just like had a thought one day. Do you have any theories behind how they're doing
Well,
that?
so there's two things. One is when we start thinking about stuff, our body inherently starts doing little things that kind of lead to that. And so we don't really notice because, well, we haven't told anyone, but like you might have like accidentally searched a flight or looked at a hotel or I don't know, searched pool floaties for, I have no idea. So I think it's a mix
Right.
between that and yeah, I don't know if it's like I don't know. I think they might be listening, but it's probably for marketing purposes because the US is like very driven on money and profit. And so they'll do anything to
Totally.
get you to buy more stuff, which is fine. If we like buying it, no harm, no foul. But I will give you an
Right.
example of like LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok really are the main ones. But they were able to start scanning your entire camera roll because everyone just, yeah, allow all to my camera roll. And they were saying that they were using AI to suggest posting. So like, oh, it scanned your camera roll and saw you were in Barbados and was like, hey, here's a post that you can make about your trip to Barbados. So they're like literally scanning your entire camera roll that you've allowed
Wow.
with AI and also are using that to train their AI. So I don't need them to access my entire camera roll. They can get access to the stuff that I'm actually going to put on the platform, but I won't be giving them access to
Totally.
my camera roll.
And to that point of Meta or Facebook, it's like for the purpose of that, they're just trying to drive usage, I suppose. And Amazon, they're obviously trying to drive sales. So it may not be the crazy, tin hat dark side of things, but it could be.
Like it
we
could
just
end
don't
up
know.
there.
And so
Like, I don't know, like
yeah.
a
So
AI
why not
gone
put
rogue. I have no idea. I don't want AI to know everything about where I've gone, who I've spent time with. Like,
Totally.
we're talking about, oh, you don't want to post pictures of your child online, but then you're giving them access to your whole camera roll and they're already scanning it. So what's the difference? You know what I mean? There's like a lot of, I would just prefer not.
100%?
I don't know. I don't know where AI is
Well, like-
going, but I know it has a lot of crazy potential and I just don't want that. So.
Okay, on a follow-on to this, and I don't know if you would know the answer to this, but is that not against the law? In the
There's
sense
not
of,
really any
okay,
laws
they say you're
around AI right now.
there's not really any laws to protect you. But even like, okay, we're giving them access to our microphones when we say yes on this app and they overhear our conversations. Is that
No,
not
that
a
is
breach
a
of
huge breach.
some? And when we say they,
That is a huge breach.
okay,
But-
that's a huge breach.
Like, there's not really any way to prove it. Like I don't know how like they'd even get caught. Every app on the App Store is not secure either. We can't just like inherently trust all these apps. From a US perspective, there's a lot of Chinese and Russian based apps that get onto the App Store. And then there's like trends about them like, oh, see how you look when you're old and you're uploading all these pictures and then that's going back to, people that we don't want them to go back to from the US
Yeah.
perspective.
Whoever.
So
Yeah.
it's like, just
Yeah.
again, I don't just be weary of like, we don't have to share everything. We don't have to upload everything. We don't have to give all of our access to everyone. Like, I think being private should be rewarded at this point. I think everyone wants to be public. And
Mhm.
I think there's such beauty in having a little bit of a private life.
Totally.
To that point, do you know whether if you have a private Instagram account, obviously Instagram or Meta has access still to all that information. So what's the difference of if you have a private account, but you're still posting?
Private account is so much better because you're not giving everyone access to your photos. Yeah, you can look at it from a corporate perspective, but you can also look at it from a scam, bad actor perspective.
Yeah.
And I look at all social media as pretty much, I mean, you have to look at it from both, but at the end of the day, why does anyone have public profiles unless they want to be an influencer? I don't get it. I really don't understand.
Right,
If you
right.
want to share photos, one, you could share them immediately with your loved ones through text messages, or if you really want to post them online, why don't you just have a private account and only add the people that matter to you in your life? Why do we feel the
Right.
need to show potentially everyone when really no one else is looking at it anyways besides the people that you want to look at? Or bad actors.
Totally.
That
Or
takes
like
us down like a
creeps somewhere, you know?
yeah. That takes us down like a whole anthropology,
Yeah.
vanity, and society conversation, which is I would love to have, but we don't have the time for.
I did want to touch on, and just because you spoke to government and regulation, we did see also,
Yes.
Caitlin, that you were with NATO recently. Congratulations. That's incredible for you to be not only a voice in the room, but such an authority in the room. Can you shed maybe a little bit of light into how that meeting went and what it was like to be a voice on cybersecurity with some of the world's biggest
Yeah.
leaders? I'm
So it
curious.
was, first of all, I'm not a NATO person. I wasn't a history person. I didn't really know that much about NATO. Again, math and science all the way. And NATO contacted me. They contacted me multiple times. The first time they contacted me was to speak at their youth summit, which was an honor, and I had to do research on NATO. And then the second time they contacted me was to go to the NATO event, and I don't know what I'm even here for. Why would they pick me? My channel is not news. I don't really know what they want me to talk about. But then I found out when I got there that, NATO wanted to increase their budget from 3% of your country's spend to 5%, or maybe it was 3.5 to 5%. And that extra 1.5% was going towards it was going to a lot of things, but one of them was going to cybersecurity. And one, making sure that we're training the next generation of like cyber professionals so we can stay safe from like a cyber warfare perspective, but also protect us from space. Like, we're not even thinking about it, like satellites, and there's a lot of different things. So being able to talk, I don't know how I got in the room with these people, but I'm like very honored. I was in the room with Trump and Zelensky, and then I got to have like a one-on-one conversation with Mark Rutte, who's literally the head of NATO. And I was talking to him about, okay, what are you guys even doing from a cybersecurity perspective? Because let's be real, there's so many issues. Are you focused on cyber warfare? What are you focused on? And he really said it's really to train the next generation and make sure that we're able to protect ourselves from all of these potentially new cyber issues. And one thing about cyber warfare is it's going on right now. You don't see it. It's all around us. It's literally in our computers. And so, again, the tinfoil hat theory makes me sound a little crazy because I'm like, Russia,
Not at
China,
all.
blah, blah, blah. But it's not crazy because it's actually already happening. You just don't see it. And it's happening with these apps. It's happening with giving all the access to all these people. And yes, we have no idea what that even means. But what you don't realize is, I always tell people to envision, okay, you wake up in the morning and you go straight to your phone. And okay, what happens if, your phone stops working because they shut down critical infrastructure like cell service? Okay, then you go to your refrigerator, and it's a smart refrigerator, and they decided, okay, that won't work, and also we're shutting off your electricity, and it's the dead of winter in Chicago, and you actually have no heat. So they are able to completely cut off human civilizations if they want to from a cyber warfare perspective. And the more information that we're giving them, the more access we're allowing them, if we're allowing them into our home networks, etc., it can be a bigger and a bigger threat. So I really love how he's training the next generation. I did get to talk to a lot of the generals and the admirals that were on the ground. And yeah, they're so smart. I was actually supposed to go next week to, every year they have a cyber coalition, and they basically plan and prepare for if a NATO country has a cyber warfare erupt, what would happen if Russia did cut off all the power in Ukraine. Obviously, Ukraine's not a NATO country, but we still try to protect and avoid other wars breaking out so we don't have to get pulled in. But I think it's just really interesting to see because it is such a huge deal. And it makes me happy to see that this money is being used for good and to prepare and protect because
Right.
it's
Totally.
needed.
And just to your point, previously, like the generation even just below us has this inherent trust of technology because it's all they've known. We were probably the last generation that lived a little bit, pre-internet. But everyone younger than us has this inherent trust because it's all that they know. And so I think having voices like yours that are relatable for younger people is the most important because that general, sure, he's great from NATO, is not going to be the one.
He's
who's
not
getting-
making TikToks.
Yeah,
It
he's
would
not
be
making
fun to watch
TikToks.
him
He's
make
not getting
TikToks,
it out
though.
there.
Yeah, it would be. That is the partnership and a collaboration we
Yeah.
would love to see. Maybe your management team should reach out about that. That would be cybersecurity
Have him
girl in
learn
the
the
US
stands
government.
before I get there.
create
Let's
TikToks.
see how that works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So good.
So-
Watch this space, but it's amazing. So
yeah, thank you.
congrats.
I mean, I really
That's
appreciate it. And
incredible.
I'm just really excited. I always feel like I wear sometimes a tinfoil hat, but it's really not because if you've seen what I've seen, you see that there's like crazy things happening in the tech space. And I don't like to instill fear. I just like to help and empower you to like say, hey, this is happening or could
Totally.
potentially happen. You take it at your own risk because I've taken it at my own risk. I mean, there's some people I used to work for that would live under a rock if they could, And then there's also people that work in the cyberspace that are out there online. So it's whatever is best for you, your family, your loved ones. And then, yeah, just follow me and you get more tips.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge-
That our last question is always, what should every woman know about cybersecurity? So I want to put that to you as our final wrap up is what should every
Yeah,
woman?
well, I think oversharing is not needed, right? There's really a lot of beauty in privacy. And two is from a career perspective, I want to see more women in this career. And actually, I think women are the most amazing people for this career. We are the number one OSINT detectives when our friend has a new boyfriend, right? Like, you literally use everything that you can to find out about this individual. That is literally what we do. We also love psychology, thriller movies. We want to get in the head of people. That's what we have to do with hackers. Every single thing that women do, we're meant for this career. And so I'm like, why is no one in this career? This is the coolest career. We're never bored. You're constantly having to learn, think, grow, get in the mind. It's like at Law and Order SVU every day, basically, if you're in this career. And so it's really fun. And there's also, we need lawyers. We need this extreme type A that love their spreadsheets and want to be kind of auditors and are like able to understand tech. We all inherently understand tech. If you pick up a phone, you'll be great in this career. So I think, one is just be private. There's so much beauty in being private. I actually get requests all the time. Please share more about your life. And I'm like, I don't want to. I just think that's like my life is for the people that are in it and are in my little sphere.
Totally.
And then, just take the necessary steps to protect yourself because I promise you, it's not as difficult as you think. And then the only other random thing I always say is just try not to click on any links, especially during the holiday season. I don't know when this is going to air, but holiday season is
before the holidays.
crazy. And this is a hacker's favorite time of year, scammer's favorite time of year. So we get so in our head
to tell
about
my mother.
everything. We're always in a rush. Like you said, Caitlin, like there's a million things going on in a woman's head. And that's why I feel like we fall for scams a lot more because we're just always so thrown off or taken off guard if we get something like urgent or whatever. We're like, oh my God, I have to do this. Let me just do it now. So just think before you click or just don't click at all. And if there's ever an issue from a bank, just get the back of your card and call the bank. Don't answer or respond or click on any emails or text messages, even if it's, oh my gosh, I need to. There's a lot in that, but
Great advice.
That's amazing. I need to send this to my mother because I think I get a call from her once a day being like, I clicked this link and now my Facebook, I can't get in.
You
and,
should
like,
tell her
all
the
these
next time
things.
she
So-
gets a message like that, she should call you first before she clicks the link to ask you. I always say, like, take a
She
step
has
back, take
gotten
9
better.
seconds, and call someone else and be like, does this make sense? Because usually the person's like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like you step yourself out of the situation.
Yes,
Totally.
totally.
Well,
she now
I
calls
was-
my husband to his dismay, but it's good. It's
Exactly.
good. She's there. Honestly, I cannot thank you enough, Caitlin. This has been so helpful. Lundie and I had so many questions going into it, and I feel like we crossed them all off the list in 35 minutes, which is amazing. 40 minutes. So we literally can't thank you enough. And best of luck with all to come. It sounds like you are doing such incredible things, and we are so excited to cheer you on from the
Thank you
sidelines.
so much. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And yeah, have a great weekend.
All right,
Thank you.
well,
You too.
Welcome to the Debrief, where we discuss things we needed a little more clarity on.
and we're back.
Back.
Yeah.
I was so excited to chat about Caitlin, the other Caitlin.
I know the other Caitlin. So lucky to have gotten her on. She's had such a busy
Totally.
schedule. She fit us in
Yeah.
basically between NATO and Mel Robbins,
I know.
which is just like,
Every time that happens to us, I'm like, wow, I can't believe this person said yes.
truly can't believe it. And we were
Yeah.
so lucky to have her. We only had her for a
Yeah.
short time, but we fit, I think, a lot in and learned so
Totally.
much. And honestly, I have already changed some of my habits, I have to say.
I know. I'm declining cookies every single time now. I'm like, you may not have my data, Mr. Cookie.
I'm declining cookies, and I never realized, I mean, obviously because I never did it one time, but I never realized how easy it is to just press one, it's one extra step. You literally press permissions or like preferences, and then it's pretty much auto set to most of them being off, and then you press yes, and then the pop-up disappears. Like, that was
So easy.
very
Yeah,
simple.
I know. So easy.
Yeah.
So easy. I can't remember which site I was on where I couldn't, it literally wouldn't let me go to the next page unless I accepted the cookies.
Yeah.
And I was like, fine, I don't need to be here. It was probably a shopping website anyways. So I was like, I don't need to
No.
be here anyways.
I know. And
Thank you for the encouragement to leave.
yeah, right, exactly. I know. And the other one that I haven't started doing, because honestly, I do really like when my shopping cart is waiting for me when I come back.
No.
When I come back.
know.
But to your point, maybe it's actually better for the online shopping addiction that it's not saved for you. It's just
Yeah.
clearing your cache, your cache, like every few weeks, every few months.
I hope we never know the right way to say that. And we just always say cash or cachet.
Cache or cache. There's no accent on the end, so maybe I just made up
No.
that it's cache. It's like
No, but I like it.
my future
Cachet.
last name, Fichet.
It's like my mom.
Yes.
Yes. And it's like how my mom always says Target instead of Target.
Yes.
So,
That's true. You know, just
yeah.
a
Target.
little extra
I'm
spice.
there. Yep.
But if for nothing other than flights, the fact that airlines can price
I know.
gouge, is that what it would be called? Price gouge, or like jack up their prices because someone is extra interested is crazy. I feel like that should be illegal.
Totally. Agree. Okay, I have some other ones.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so my other one was, I mean, obviously we all know we should have better passwords and a password protector or a password manager so you get unique passwords. But I loved her suggestion, and she kind of said it quickly, but of using a sentence as a password.
I know.
Which I thought was such a good idea because
Never
I'm
heard of
always
that.
like, I've never heard of it. And also, I was filling out, I've had a background check done on me recently, which sounds more ominous than it is, but it's not.
New job.
I was getting a new job, a new apartment. And I was like one of those ones where they're like, you need 13 characters plus like some special character and a like capital, but you can't turn it on visual. So I was like counting the stars. I was like 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm like, one more exclamation
And then
mark.
you have to do it again, and it's like it doesn't match, and you're like, I don't know what I even said.
I don't know.
Honestly,
I don't know
Who's
what
to
it
say?
is. I don't know. So I like the sentence. In that moment, I should have used the sentence. And then the other one was about software updates, that I didn't realize that software updates were such a big deal on data security and protection, which it makes total sense. Like if there's a breach, they fix it, push a software update.
Yeah.
I definitely am guilty of doing the remind me tomorrow.
Remind me
Like,
tomorrow,
remind me in an hour.
indefinitely for like
Exactly.
a million years. But it's true. It's such a simple thing. It's a toggle on. You can literally do it overnight. And
Yeah.
it just helps protect you.
No.
Yes, agreed on all of the above. The other thing that I found just interesting and I thought was a good point was that women are well suited for the cybersecurity industry. I love it.
Totally.
Like we do this in our day-to-day lives. We are stalking people
Yes.
with the few resources we have all day long
Totally.
to get into their
Yeah.
heads and use like criminal psychology, or not even criminal psychology, just psychology. And
Lundie's using criminal psychology to get into
I
people's
guess they're not
heads.
all criminals. And she like emphasized what I thought was also very refreshing, and what you hear a lot is like, I wasn't a math person. I thought I was going to go into
Totally.
like a girly profession, like teaching, like all of that seems
Yeah.
outdated because it's 2025, but like we've all felt Like we aren't
Totally.
math people, so we don't belong in one, an investment or whatever. And so I think it's A, refreshing that she experienced that herself, and then B, has literally become the most prominent cybersecurity influencer. She's literally
Influencer.
with Trump and Zelensky. Like, go.
Yeah.
So very
I know.
encouraging. And I just think that it's so true that AI is moving faster than anyone, even the actual experts, can keep up with. And so her point is like, we don't know what's going to be possible. So protect yourself in advance of whatever that might look like. And I think it's a good habit to start building,
Yeah, agree. It's true. She's really adding clout to the Caitlin name. I appreciate her. Thank you.
Spelled the same
Thank
way.
you, Caitlin. Spelled the same way, which is rare. Usually there's a K or a Y in there. So
Yeah.
well done to her.
Yeah.
I agree. Use a sentence and make the decisions for you. We love it.
Totally. Awesome. Thanks so much. We'll see you
Yay.
next week.
Knowledge is power. Woohoo. LFG.
Join us next week for our season 1 finale, when we're asking, what the fuck is a GLP-1/Ozempic? We're talking to Dr. Andrea Milne-Epp. Dr. Andrea has over 22 years experience and is a diplomat of the American Board of Obesity Medicine. We get into all the questions. What does it really do to your body? And importantly, can anyone take it? See you next Tuesday. Knowledge is power. And for one last time this season, let's fucking go.